Hi, friends. Today I'm going to explain briefly about 5G and why we need to take action to stop it. Now, in my first video on 5G, see the link below, I made a mistake, which I so rarely do. Some people told me that I failed to define exactly what 5G is before I went on a rampage about how lethal it is. As a health educator for about 15 years, I used to tell people that health was 80% diet and 20% exercise. But now, with all of the electromagnetic frequencies we're being bombarded with, we have a new assault on our health, and it is huge. First, let me explain that the G in 5G stands for generation, not gigahertz, as may be mistaken. So 5G is the next wave, the next generation of cell phone technology. The first wave was 1G. Those were those old, big, monstrous cell phones, about 10 inches long. They were from 1980 to 1990. Those were the first wireless technology. You could talk for only 25 minutes before you had to recharge the phone. The frequency was 150 megahertz to 500 megahertz. And the capacity or data rate was only 2 kilobits per second. Then came 2G. This was the smaller flipper phones from 1990 to 2000. They allowed for texting. The frequency was 1.8 gigahertz, and the capacity or data rate was 64 kilobits per second. Later came 2.5G, which allowed for texting, photos, emails, and even web browsing. Later came 3G. These were the original smartphones from 2000 to 2010. The frequency was 1.6 to 2 gigahertz. The bandwidth was 100 megahertz. And the capacity was 144 kilobits per second. This allowed for video calls, fast communication, and mobile TV. 3G phones were rather expensive. Next came 4G. These began in 2010 and are planned until 2020. The frequency is 2 to 8 gigahertz. The bandwidth is 100 megahertz. The characteristics include high speed, what we enjoy today. Technology includes Wi-Fi. The capacity is 100 megabits per second. And this is better than 3G mobile, as it can be used anywhere, anytime that there is global mobile support. It has integrated wireless, customized personal service, and bigger battery usage. Now, even at these frequencies, it's been proven that you can get brain cancer. Here is where we need to stop. But 5G is coming right around the corner unless we stop it. It's coming in 2020, at least in the United States. This is supposed to happen from 2020 to 2030. The frequencies will range from 15 gigahertz to 100 gigahertz, and some speculate higher, up to 300 gigahertz. It will have high speed and high capacity, faster transmission of data than 4G. It will include interactive multimedia, voice streaming, and a lot more, but buckle up. It will bring the internet of everything. It will be more efficient and fast. It will include cars without drivers, controlling your appliances from anywhere in the world, which of course we all need. Virtual reality, and it will handle 1,000 times the traffic that today's networks do, and up to 10 times faster. Download a movie in seconds, drive in a car without a driver, enjoy virtual reality, the internet of everythings. Now, in my most recent video, and I include the link below, I covered the reasons that we should stop 5G. Let's recap here for a moment. 5G has X-ray frequencies that will destroy our health and our privacy. It will cause flu-like symptoms, irritability, neurological symptoms, insomnia, and eventually cancer, especially of the brain and the thyroid. Microwaves are a form of electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths ranging from 1 meter to 1 millimeter and frequencies between 300 megahertz and 300 gigahertz. Would you step into a microwave, my friends? I kind of doubt it. Yet when 5G happens, we will all slowly roast. It will destroy not only humans, but all life on Earth. In other words, it's an equal opportunity killer. It doesn't discriminate. It has no regard for religion, wealth, political opinions, gender, race, or even species. So don't take 5G's death rays personally. It will kill across the board. Now, none of this makes sense unless you know about Agenda 21, in which the very few powers that control the world openly admit their plan for depopulation. I will soon do another video on that fascinating topic. The globalists want to thin the herd, and what better way than to make us pay for our demise? They got us all addicted to these smartphones to such a degree that I would guess there's a large number of young folks out there who might prefer death to living without their smartphones. That is addiction, my friends. Ironically, it is the smartphones that are dumbing people down. Now, I see this addiction everywhere, but especially in the United States, where even babies play with cell phones and toddlers talk to grandma on a cell phone. The brain is still forming in children and teens, and that is the age when they talk on the phones the most. I recall spending hours per day on the phone while in high school. I urge you to look at the links below. My first 5G video includes 3 ways to fight back. There is also a link below that explains the real reason lead paint was outlawed in the US, because lead paint can protect you from these rays while you're in your house at least. The official reason was that children were eating the leaded paint, lowering their IQ. Now, if that were the real reason, let's do a little critical thinking here. Why is fluoride in all the water, despite the fact that it lowers IQ by 10 points? And why are babies being vaccinated with toxic IQ lowering mercury and aluminum? 2020 is a year they plan to roll out 5G for the world. Is it any coincidence that a world government summit recently declared 2030 as the end of humans? Hint, it takes about 10 years for a person to develop cancer. Check out the links below. It also includes info on those summits, on that summit. Bye for now, friends. I'll talk to you next week.